Berto, you got skills.
Hello, Gishers! What's up, what's up, what's up? It's Sunday morning! Or afternoon if you're somewhere else in the world. I'm Felicia Day, and I'm gonna be here to talk to you about some awesome moves that our panelist has, and heritage and history. But first, let's bring on a guest. Charlie!
That is both the most unsettling and calming thing I've heard all morning. Hello, everybody. Just a quick note. You have outdone yourselves. I mean, as usual, but we always go, you know what, maybe this is the time. We're not gonna do, maybe this will be it. Maybe we've gotten to our limit. We're all in the pandemic. We're hitting walls in the pandemic. But no, you've come through and been creative and stepped up for people who are not likely in your community. Our Change a Life in Ecuador, you blew past the $50,000 fundraising goal. We can't thank you enough for that. We're going to be potentially talking to some people on the ground who are working for those communities. 1,000 women will now be helped to restore their ability to have farmable land. The oil spill / dumping issue there has been catastrophic, and you'll be helping those 8 communities of Quechua indigenous women have places to farm. I would just wanted to tell you really quickly before you get into this amazing panel, which I'm so excited about. The money that is raised above and beyond now will go to a more immediate challenge, a more immediate problem, which is COVID relief. These areas are really remote. It can take upwards of 8 to 10 days to get anyone in and out to a hospital. So for $5,000, you're basically providing 10,000 masks for 3,000 people. You've already done that. You're already at over 55,000. And then $10,000 actually pays for medical transport in these remote areas to help save the elders in those communities and families. The elders are obviously more at risk. So thank you. And just know that every dollar that's raised after the $50,000 goal is going to saving a legacy, which you'll hear, I think, more about today, about legacies and elders and the storytelling there, and also families who need it. So you're providing COVID relief to people who don't have access to it and might never have it. So thank you. Felicia, I'm gonna let you do this. I'm so excited about this panel. I'm gonna be sitting here watching every second of it, so thank you.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you everybody in the audience for doing this. I mean, it really is incredible. This is my first on the ground GISH experience, and I'm blown away not only by everyone's creativity. Thank you for doing my item, seeing a lot of rock crowns go by, but just your generosity and the spirit of love, acceptance, kindness. It really is something the world needs, and doing it in aggregate is probably sending a karmatic blast out into the world that we definitely need right now. So we have an amazing panel this morning. Hopefully you guys, y'all are ready to get on your feet. We have Jasper Pugao. He is an incredible person. He has so many different aspects to his career and his passions. I can't wait to introduce him and also have him talk about Eskrima and how it is the martial art Eskrima and also the cultural significance of it, and many, many other more things. Welcome, Jay.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for having me here. Shout out to all the amazing GISH team. I got to talk to them and got to build with them early this morning before this panel. So thank you. And then also, I want to extend my greetings and thanks to all the participants. You know, I just found out about GISH more recently with a family member of mine that works through them. And it's just an amazing friggin' project and program where we do things where we get to, you know, humor all of our fantasy and all of our dreams that where our ancestral mythologies come from, And then I get to exercise that at the same time, do something to help out our community, not just in our local community, but globally. So really just elating, just to be part of this group, just to hear about all the work that y'all are doing. And I feel like I'm just so honored and grateful to be here. So maraming salamat, thank you for having me. And I'm ready to get started. Whatever y'all throw at me, I'll just run first. No,
Yeah.
I'll use martial arts.
And I've seen your moves. You can run very well. You're basically the Flash. If anybody has questions, please submit them. I will be asking some at the end before, so you will be able to ask Jay some things. But first of all, just Jay, can you just tell the audience a little bit about yourself? What do you do? Who is Jay?
Yeah, so I'm based out of Oakland, California, here in the Bay Area, San Francisco. Originally born in the Manila, Philippines, the third world ghettos and the slums. And luckily, I was blessed that I have hardworking parents that my mom got a visa to immigrate and find a better opportunities for my family or for her family. So my mom, who was like our like my knight in shining armor, kind of came in, like basically got us out of some third world hardcore poor situation to a better situation where, you know, I have a flushing toilet, I got running water. You know, a lot of people from across the globe don't even have such blessings. So for me to experience it, I'm just so grateful. So ever since then, here, I'm just seeing immigrant parents work so hard. You know, they always say, go to college, get your education. That's why we work so hard to get here for. But seeing my parents just work, I kind of fell in that same thing. So I've been working through my work. I've been an educator for over 2 decades, working with elementary, middle school, and high school, inner city, urban youth, exposing them to sustainable practices, whether it's gardening, whether it's eating well, plant-based eating, where it's taking care of their bodies, taking care of the planet. I said at the same time, working with leadership, empowering young people to find their voice and find who they are, so they could take a place in the world to become our next leaders to help this world a better place, which we need, as we all know. And then I also got doing training adults, so adults, and creating workspaces and how to work with young people in a way that's equitable, that's respecting where they're from, what skin they're in, what background they're in. So being able to create spaces in the youth and the adult where it's compassionate and empowering for one another. So those are the things that I do. And the other thing that I do is, like, I train the Filipino martial arts. It's like my other passion, my other heart, and the history that ties in with it, threads in with all of my work, whether it's an educator or as a entrepreneur or as a martial arts teacher. The martial arts and the history and the culture of my martial arts helps me build that foundation. So I've been doing that and utilizing the martial arts to fight bullying, to protect and defend the weak and the meek, and using our martial arts for good. I mean, look at me. I'm not even that tall or scary looking. This is like, so
well,
people don't
but
touch. Yeah.
Yeah, you bring up some really interesting points about martial arts as a cultural tradition, as a something that can pass ancestry along. Can you talk a little bit about that and just Eskrima? Some people, I know a lot of people might be more familiar with Taekwondo and Kung Fu and all these other more
Awesome
mainstream
question.
things, but could you talk a little bit about Eskrima in particular?
Yeah, thank you, Felicia, for that question, because Eskrima is kind of like an underground martial art, even to this day. However, after the COVID, after pandemic, where people can't physically roll on the ground like jujitsu, like to grapple, or other martial arts like wrestling, where there's like more intimacy, then the other martial arts that came to the front are the more martial art with distance, weapon-based martial arts. So Eskrima actually started coming up to the top, especially during these times. And we have a really strong and long history. The Filipino martial arts has 3 names, actually: Kali, Eskrima, and Arnis. And all of those describe the same art, but part of our history is because the Philippines has been colonized, taken over by other nations. There's been some really bad things and some good things that happen. So a lot of influences. So being colonized by when Europe, Spain came in and invaded the Philippines, And then Japan also invaded the Philippines. And then also America during the war, World War II, was also in there, was like, yo, help us fight the other colonizers and we'll give you liberate. And even though it didn't happen exactly what it was, the Filipinos were very welcoming. And then sometimes they got taken advantage of. So they then had to use an indigenous fighting art that has been highly advanced for many years, and they had to use it to defend their country, their land, and the people. And basically, for example, when Spain arrived and colonized, then we had to use it, right? And then Spain then was like, uh-oh, I thought these guys were like some uncivilized savages. Actually, you know, our history book says Ferdinand Magellan circumnavigated the way. That actually Ferdinand Magellan arrived in the Philippines, got into war, lost. He actually got decapitated. His men got back on the ship, got lost, found their way back, hence they circumnavigated. But that's another hidden history of the Filipino martial arts.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's also like Bruce Lee's one of the most popular martial artists, Sifu Bruce Lee, R.I.P., passed away already. One of his martial arts students is Guru Danny Nosanto, who's a Filipino martial artist that lives in LA.
Wow.
He's in his 70 years old. All of his students have been the fight choreographers for majority 90% of Hollywood movies.
That's what I was about to say. Whenever I have been on a lot of TV shows where I have to learn a lot of fighting, and almost
you already
a
know.
lot of the time they will mention, oh, this is an Eskrima technique, because the use of weapons, a lot of the times will be double daggers, even one dagger, because those that kind of, and I did train a little bit for dagger fighting and stuff, and it's all based in Eskrima, which I found really fascinating, and it's so beautiful. And you're right, a lot of choreography in Hollywood is based on Eskrima, which people probably would not appreciate. And I didn't know it was because of that one individual.
Yeah, so most of the students kind of helped spread it, and it kind of became a little bit more popular in the West. But Sparta 300, Blade, the Borat Identity series, all these amazing Hollywood films, you know, they're not going to mention that, but that's okay. But we know in our hearts as Filipino martial arts practitioners, hey, that's our stuff, you know. And the Filipino martial arts has been practiced with military and the police force across the globe as well. So it's very practical.
Yeah. Is there a movie example? I mean, you're going to give us some moves and things, but you know, there's always that. There's the one that has was the Muay Thai. There's that movie with the one. Now I'm not.
Ong Bak?
Yes, Ong Bak. Okay, so you can.
Yeah.
My brother's a huge martial arts person. He's studied in 7 different. So I've grown up on all martial arts movies. So Ong Bak, you could point to as an example of Muay Thai. Is there a movie that especially features Eskrima techniques that people could either watch or maybe kind of bring to mind when they think about it as a technique?
Oh, that's awesome. I think in terms of an actual movie based out of Filipino martial arts, there are some small documentaries. However, if we're talking about a big Hollywood production, it's not specifically about Filipino martial arts, but the martial arts choreographed are based in Filipino martial arts. Sparta 300, right?
Really?
Blade with Wesley Snipes. The Bourne Identity series with what's the actor's name? Bourne Identity.
Oh yeah.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon. That's one of my favorites. Those fight sequences are incredible because they're very
and the pen. Remember that scene when he was using the pen?
Yes, it's so good.
Yeah, so our elders would say, hey, you can turn a rolled up newspaper, a pen, a cell phone, and do some damage. So that's the other thing about Filipino martial arts. And that's why unlike a lot of other martial arts, like I'm retired after a certain age. And Filipino martial arts, a lot of our elders are training in their 70s and their 80s, because especially elders need canes. So hey, why not learn how to use a cane and strike somebody while some young person want to be a bully and then turn that cane into a, you know. So that's another reason where you can have some longevity in the weapons-based martial arts, where like Muay Thai, you're taking punches, and after a time you get older and you're like, I don't want to get punched that much.
No.
You know?
No, I love it. Now I want to go. I want to go start training right now. So, but before we get into some of the more physical demonstrations, which all of you, we're going to have a little portion where you can learn a little bit and be brought onto the screen if you so choose. Could you talk about the traditions and the oral traditions of Eskrima in particular, and talk about how that it's kind of a conduit for legacy and culture?
For sure. Thank you for that. So the Eskrima in terms of legacy and culture, of course, I mentioned all of the ways that you use it for self-defense, to defend yourself, to defend against bullying or some kind of colonizing, whatever at local or international level, right? Another thing about the Filipino martial arts, because we're a colonized people, a lot of our traditions and culture has actually been hidden. Part of that being colonized, a lot of our books were burned by the colonizers. So we have a lot of oral traditions. So even in my own martial arts community, Filipinos, sometimes we have debates and arguments like, is this real? Or is this from an oral tradition? Where is the documents that support it? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it kind of like, so for me as a young person learning martial arts, I'm like, yeah, of course I know the practical arts and science of it, but hey, can we still honor and not necessarily disrespect the oral traditional part? So one example is one of our great masters that's been helping us spread the word. One of the oral traditions was he was trained by a blind princess, and he was out there challenging all the masters, thinking about, I'm the best. Which island? The southern parts of the Philippines, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna defeat your master. The northern parts of the Philippines, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna defeat your master. And then one OG elder was like, yeah, you go to this island, you can't defeat this master. It's like, oh, really? Let me go over there. So this oral tradition, told by many elders, he goes over there. He starts laughing because it's a woman. That's a woman. I would defeat her. And she's blind. Lo and behold, he goes and try to get some. She serves her, wipes him on the floor, and then he goes, I drop everything. I want to learn from you so you could teach me. She says, I'm only going to accept you as my student if you learn how to not to use the martial arts for negative ways. You know, exercising your ego. For months, he goes and does all the chores in the province, sticks around, does all the dishes, hangs all the clothes, just to show his dedication. Eventually, she opens up. He accepts her, the blind princess, Princess Josefina, and then he says, I'm going to teach you this, but you only get to share it to people that's not going to use it for violence, for bad, So that's one of the oral traditions. So we honor the tradition, even though our people are like, is that real? Is it really? But there's many other, like the yo-yo, for example. The yo-yo is a toy. It originates as a Filipino martial arts weapon. Originally, another hidden secret. 45 caliber, the weapon, the handgun was developed because the warriors was not going down when they were shot. So they developed a handgun to take out the warriors. The military, the nickname for the what are they called? The branch of the military government. The Marines are called leathernecks. The reason they're called leathernecks is in World War II, when they went to the Philippines, they would have fights with the Philippine warriors, and sometimes they would sleep at night and they wake up with their necks chopped off because the warriors didn't have guns, so they had to come at night, poop. So they started wearing 3 inches of leather around their neck, the Marines, before they went to bed. And hopefully they're in bed. So yeah, so those are some of the traditions, a lot more, but around indigenous elders. The blind princess is one of them that I hold closely to my heart. I might debate one of my own people, but we honor it, even though we know some practical martial arts is practical. We also know there's the myth and the oral tradition part that we want to honor. And part of that is honoring our elders as well. When we honor these stories, we honor our elders. And that's really important in my culture.
Yeah, no, this is incredible. Did you have a family tradition of learning Eskrima, or how did your personal passion for it come into being? And when?
That's a good one. Usually in the indigenous elder ways, is like, remember I mentioned it's 7,000 islands, and we're like, hey, our province, our island style is better than their province style. Until we got colonized, then we were like, hey man, okay, we're both cool. Let's go fight the bigger bad guy. Otherwise, before the big bad guy came in, they're like, my stuff is better than your stuff. Oh, really? Okay, let's see it. So usually if you're part of the family, you get trained. I didn't even know about Filipino martial arts when I was in the Philippines. My lolo, my grandfather, was into boxing, Western boxing. By the way, Western boxing was also influenced by Filipino martial arts, because when Western boxing came to the Philippines, it was like this Irish stance, like this. And then when Western boxing came to the Philippines, they learned the Filipino warriors. Then their elbows came out, and then they had more head bobbing. So then that's how Western boxing was influenced by the Filipino martial arts back in the 40s. Now, your question was like, how did I get into it? I didn't even know about it until I immigrated to America. In the Philippines, I was so westernized. All I wanted to learn was, I knew how to raise the roof. I knew MTV. I knew BET. I knew Nike shoes. I knew all of things that I thought was America. When I came back to go to America and stop eating rice. I want to eat bread, you know? No, I love rice. But then when I got here, I met an elder, a homeless gentleman. He was like, my friend had a Filipino shirt. Oh, you know about Filipino martial arts? He was homeless. He said, why don't do a trade? I teach you Filipino martial arts. You guys give me some bagels. We worked at a bagel shop. And me and my best friend were like, he was 17, I was 20 years old. Like, yeah, let's, we were giving out bagels to the cute girls in the college anyway. We might as well give bagels to the homeless guy. We learned from the homeless guy. We found that we thought he was the master. We found out he had another teacher. And he was like, I want to introduce you to him. So eventually he had some hardships in his life. He fell off the grid, and then he brought us to the master. And then the master was like, OG, or a lot of old school Filipino martial artists, you know, they don't have a commercial martial arts studio. They train out of their homes. Wow. So we kind of learned how to train out of our homes, and then did not know that this man was internationally known. They did not know he was traveling with Bruce Lee's student, Jesse Glover, who also passed away, RIP, a 72-year-old man. One of 3 Bruce Lee students, he was African-American. So this African-American guy who was in his elder, and then my teacher, Filipino, was like, yo, we're gonna go tour Europe. They toured Europe, he got popular. And then, but he was still, didn't like the limelight. He was still in America, he still trained in his home. So when he passed away, he was recording hello videos, training sessions, and I was there 17, 18, 19. So all the elders was like, who is that kid? He's a new lineage carrier. So that's how I kind of came in. So
it's amazing. That's an amazing story. Just to be able to go. I mean, that is not, usually somebody would just go take a class.
Yeah.
It's an amazing story.
1997, I've been training 1997.
Wow. One last question before we do a little demo. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to bring everyone physically in, but I'm excited at the end of this for you to kind of just show a couple moves that people could do from their houses. But one last question from Carmen. I lived in the Philippines for more than 30 years. I've heard of Arnis, but not of Eskrima or Kali. Then I come here and I finally learn about this. Are there any projects in the Philippines which our fellow Pinoys might get into?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, after COVID, like my personal relationship with the martial arts community have grown exponentially. Even the Filipinos in the Philippines, not just the Filipino Americans in the West or in Europe, right? So there is the movement is getting bigger in the Philippines. I don't know at the top of my head right now, but I know that there's some amazing groups right there, and the younger generation is starting to get to it. The younger generation usually did not want to get into this. They like to do the more MMA stuff because that's becoming more popular, mixed martial arts and stuff like that. But now, because of the popularity, younger folks are getting back in. Younger Filipinos, you know, not just the Filipino Americans or the non-Filipinos. We have more support by non-Filipinos in the West than Filipinos, you know.
Well, it's almost like when you're taken out of your culture, you actually want to be more familiar with where you originated a little bit, and that's kind of really important for all of us to understand where we came from, because that's what makes us unique. And
that's right. That's right. And that's very valuable.
Exactly. And just to be clear, anybody can start. I'm just kind of encapsulating a couple less questions. Anybody can try Eskrima. It doesn't really have any physical limitations as far as like being a beginner or having to have other martial arts. And there's no age limit to be able to learn Eskrima, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you can stand up, then you're ready, right? So there is no age limit, and
And
so
if you're able not to stand up, is there some things that you can incorporate into your life?
One of our grandmasters, Carlito, he's actually a gentleman that's on a wheelchair. So he's practicing all of his blade work on a wheelchair.
Wow.
So that's still, there's other, regardless of your capabilities, you know, the Filipino martial arts, you could use, you know, if you're sitting on a chair like I am,
Yeah.
and let's say you want to participate today, but you
Mhm.
don't want necessarily, or you can't get up, then you can use your upper body. For example, you can like do this kind of half body pendulum, right? Let's say someone's coming at you, you're sitting on a chair, and someone's going to try to whack you in the head. So learning how to use your hips and your body to kind of pull out, right? That's one
Yeah.
way. And let's say you had the fork in your hand. This is probably a mighty big fork, but then you want to be able to, as a basic, you know, again, like my martial arts teacher was like, hey, don't teach anybody any knife when they're, unless they're mentally mature. You don't want to teach
Mhm.
young people or someone who's like a troublemaker any kind of skills that's gonna, he can endanger himself or other people. So another thing about as a martial arts teacher, we always measure our students' mental capacity. Like, are they a cool kid? Are they a good person? Will they use this in a good way? Or are they out here ready to fight somebody? So for example, this is a letter opener or a pen. It could be a pen, and you're sitting down. So one way you want to do is you always want to learn how to change directions wherever the attack's coming from. So that's one way, right? And then you got your pen, and then you want to draw an X, right? Tip out. That's one way. Now, earth style, meaning the pointy part is in the bottom. Letter X, just familiarizing yourself with that. Now, when you do the kick, you don't want to cut your own leg here, right? When you're doing your X and you cut your own leg, so you tighten up and you put it to your side of your waist. So that's one way to train the martial arts when you're sitting down, right? Letter X, turn around this way.
You look
Turn,
so
oh, someone's
cool.
coming from behind you.
Wow.
Oh, someone's from behind you, right? So that's one way to utilize the martial arts when you're sitting down. So feel free to do any of those movements during the demo, okay?
Okay.
Oh, sorry, switch cameras here. And then if you want, I could start doing some demos now, unless
Yes,
there's other
please do.
questions.
Yeah.
Felicia, okay. So one of the things I want to introduce to you is the concept of the scissors or the gunting, right? The gunting. So there's many different ways that we use. And this is my pendulum ball. I teach my Wednesday, Saturday martial arts class virtually. Sometimes if we can't physically meet with them, then we use this thing called the pendulum ball. The pendulum ball is an inanimate object that goes swing back and forth. But what this does is it reminds and shows you the in and out, the in and out. When someone's coming at you, they're gonna come at you, they're gonna come attack you, going in. Or you're time they're going out, they're punching while they're going out. Or they're kicking, they're going in, they're straight line. So the straight line is the string. That is the straight line. That's where the punch. I'm gonna go this angle. That's where the punch, the sword, the kick is coming from. So one thing, if you want to do, start what we call a parry or a slip, okay? And what I'm doing my footwork here, the line of the string is the center line. That's to represent the black stick. The two rattan stick, what we would call that the female triangle, or the V step. The V step, see? V step, V step. Now you're getting out of the way, V step. So if that's a punch, I get out of the way. If that's a kick, I get out of the way, I V step. Now you can also do, hey, check this out. This is my little mat, how to draw the star. So the line is this line, the center line is the black stick. And what I just did was the V step. So I did this one. So you could start up with this, okay? And then what I'm doing with my hand is I'm funneling the punch to my shoulder. I'm funneling it. And if you can't see, I'm doing a scissor, gunting.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I'm scissoring it. I'm locking it so I can then punch, etc. Okay, so that's the V step. Now, and the pendulum is the in and out. You saw the in and out, right? The in and out. And I use my elbows to measure. You see that? Later, I use a punch. Boom. Left, right, jab, cross, right? V step. I block. V step. Jab, cross. Okay, so that's one. Now, with the same concept of the gunting, the scissor. Everybody, if you can, do this. And then do this. And then do this. And then do this. See those scissors? Now make them bigger. Okay, now
Weirdo, you're looking good.
Now you're gonna see me. Thank you. Good job, everybody. Now you're gonna see me do the scissor on my pendulum ball. The
Oh,
scissor
man.
represents me catching, then I strike. I go scissor, strike, strike, strike.
This is
Block,
amazing.
scissor, strike, strike, strike. The more accurate you become, anyone can just hit, right? But if
Yeah.
you can hit the tip of your weapon to the center of the ball, then you're working on accuracy, timing, rhythm, range, right? Scissor.
Wow, that is
Scissor.
so difficult.
Yeah, it is a little challenging.
It
Here's our
really
larval.
is. Wow.
Can I go for another minute? Is that okay?
Yes,
Felicia?
go. I will let you go for hours, but unfortunately, I can't do that. But you are. I'm loving every second of this.
Okay, so now we're gonna go with the farmer. I show you the scissor, which is the farmer's weapon. Now I'm gonna show you the oar or the bugsai, which is the fisherman's weapon.
Okay.
And the reason we call this based because again, Filipinos, they want to create something that already was in their environment, right? So you're gonna see my movement as if I'm using my long weapon, my long stick, as an oar, as a paddle, like I'm rowing a boat.
Wow.
This is from the water people of the Philippines. So their movements look like they're rowing a boat. I'm striking that ball, by the way. And then the strike can represent a strike, or it could be a deflection, a block, right? So you see my hand switching, left hand, right hand, rowing, corto means short range, medium range, and long range. So you have those, and the more control, anybody can hit a ball, but can you point? Can you freeze?
Wow.
Right? So our
It's
elders
so hard.
yeah, so now because you're working on your range, you're making sure you hit the tip, right? So now this ball could represent your enemy's hand.
Yeah.
It can represent their elbow, their shoulder, their head. So when you're doing this, you are working on precision,
Mm-hmm.
distance, range, timing, right? Now, my elders, they didn't have the same benefits of training like this. Sometimes they had to do it because they had to defend their land. They were in places where they had no other way. Like for me, this is one, but I'm sure for my ancestors, because I have stories where our elders, the way they learned is not the way we learn these days.
Yeah.
We go to a class, the teacher looks kind of like disrespectful and egotistic. I'll give you a bad Yelp review and not come back. In the Philippines, this is how you come into class. You want to learn how to, my elders would be like with their heavy accent. You want to learn how to fight? Okay, boom. And
No,
they
I
hit you.
know. I studied with a Russian violin teacher. It was not necessarily the most gentle technique.
and Felicia, that's violin. Imagine if that was a fighting art.
No,
Right?
yeah, it is hardcore. Yeah, it is. There's not
So-
the compassion there that maybe we are used to now, but wow.
Yeah, we're a little spoiled out here in terms of education, right?
Yeah.
However, so we take what we can and we do our best to learn, right?
Mhm.
And we kind of, this is my way of honoring my culture, honoring the stories of my elders.
Yeah.
And then so when I teach the young people, I don't have to lie and be like, yeah, when I was in a battle in the Philippine death match in a cave, I wasn't. I was taking a bus and I probably had Lyft, like I didn't walk many miles to meet a master. So really just using what you get and being grateful, being and doing your best with what you have and with the resources that you have, and then using that to honor the art, the culture. Of course, I can learn how to defend myself. If a bully step up, there's a bigger chance of me defending myself. But at the same time, this is helping me with fitness, with health, with position. And if I do have to defend my family, hey, I have a better chance. I have a better chance,
and
okay?
also you are learning something that, the idea that there is more significance than just exercise behind it or moves or just the offense defense to it it really makes it more of almost a holy exercise to do this. Also,
I love that.
I love martial arts movies so much. This is the hottest thing I've seen in years. So anyway, you're
Yay.
incredible.
Thank you so much. I really
wish-
appreciate you.
I really wish we could do this for about an hour and a half. Do you do any online? There's so many wonderful questions here. Everyone loves your enthusiasm, and
Oh man, super blessed.
it
How
is your
about y'all,
energy
this
is
community?
so infectious. So what can anybody check out your work online or do
Yeah.
a workshop with you? How is that possible? Is that possible?
Yeah, so currently because of my students that I teach, I used to do seminars. I was teaching in Barcelona and and Geneva and Switzerland and all over the States. I was super blessed and honored to be flown out to these countries to teach other martial arts groups. But because of COVID, my students got mad. They're like, well, we were gonna fly you over here. So I've been teaching virtually. I have I use my Patreon account right now. I teach on Monday, Wednesday. So if folks are more interested, I have a YouTube page. We have an Instagram page.
Yeah.
Beside Eskrima. So please follow us there. But if you really want to have a direct connection with me and support the amazing work that we're doing, you go follow our Patreon account. That's at J Jasper. Thank you so much. So those
there
are
it
the
is.
place.
Yep.
Thank you so much. So and then we're not just teaching people how to fight. We're teaching people how to reconnect with culture. A lot of my students are non-Filipinos, and it's just really about creating the community and developing each other as better fighters, but also better people. That's really the most important part.
That's what
right?
I've always,
So,
every martial art is like that. It really makes you, and it's a community as well. There's a legacy and a culture there that I think is important for all of us to have in our lives somehow.
yeah, and
well,
you got to find those ways.
This is amazing. So please check out and support. And also I'm going to issue the challenge. So in his panel, Jay spoke about how many of the books and written history of the Filipino people were burned by the Spanish conquistadors or conquerors, leaving the oral stories to keep their histories alive. There's someone in your life whose story is at risk of being lost too. Honor an elder in your life, a person over 65, and interview them remotely and safely about something they fought for that's close to their heart. So that is the challenge of the panel. And Charlie, do you have anything else to speak about before we end our amazing panel that I wish could go on for 5 more hours and just watch Jay work?
No, I'm privileged enough to know Jay, and I highly recommend his classes and courses. And this has been incredible, guys. Thank you so much, folks.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. There are 2 other panels that will be today. There will be another of the puzzle making panels, and there will also be a chandlery. And
Chandler Bing,
Chandler Bing, that I had a crush on that character in Friends. I will admit it. I mean, at least if you're gonna have a Friends crush, it's either that or Monica, right?
Chandler,
exactly.
Why not Joey? Why not Joey? That was more of a
Joe. Come on, would you want to date Joey more than a week? Really?
I like the entertainment part. All
right,
this is the debate we needed.
Yeah. Okay. This is the debate. We can do. Okay. Next panel will be who is your friend's crush? No. I will be back for the closing ceremonies at 4 p.m. So we'll be doing it early, and I'm very excited about that. I will put a nice shirt on. In the meantime, have a wonderful GISH Sunday. All right. See you later. Thank you again, Jay. Bye.
Thank you so much.
And Berto.
Thanks, Berto. Thanks, Charlie. Thanks, Felicia.
Yeah, you're
Have a good
wonderful.
one, y'all.
Bye.
Thanks, y'all.